around the city as much as possible. We're doing a lot of outreach beginning next week on the north side. So I'm excited about the direction our campaign is going. I think it's a great opportunity for Milwaukee to finally get things right. So I'm pleased that we came out of the primary and now it's on to the general.
Kind of building off of that too, we looked at 2004, was really divisive. And looking at Pratt and Barrett, there's talks of some racial divide. Do you expect any of that to carry over this time with a white candidate and a black candidate? And if so, how do you proceed through that?
Well, I've worked with the black aldermen for years. I've represented a lot of African Americans in my district. Certainly, I represented a district 70% minority. And was returned to office 5 times. So I must have been doing something right. And I think I took care of business, represented everyone's best interests, irregardless of their race and ethnic background. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for the next mayor to unite Milwaukee, and I feel I'm the guy who can do that.
What's the connection you share with the people who voted for you think, your strongest connection?
Well, I think just average Joes, people who care about common sense things. They want to live in a safe, clean, quiet neighborhood with a minimal amount of problems for a reasonable amount of tax dollars. Those are the heart and soul people of Milwaukee, and that's my message goes out to them. They're the ones who oftentimes take it on the chin and have to suffer through a lot of the deficiencies in local government. Quite frankly, I think local government hasn't been working effectively in Milwaukee for a long, long time, especially when you consider safety and our policing and our schools and things like that. So I think we need someone in the mayor's office who's going to get that to work.
Now, when you consider the people who voted for Lena Taylor or Marina Dimitrievich, you mentioned that you're going to be targeting different areas of the city. Can you give us any of the tactics or the messages you're going to be sending to those voters so they vote for you instead of Cavalier Johnson?
Well, I think that same kind of message. We just want to knock on doors. We want to stop into local businesses. I've always felt small neighborhood businesses are the heart and soul of any community. Knocking on their doors and saying hi and shaking hands and talking one-on-one. I think people feel comfortable when they meet a candidate face to face. And certainly that's our effort and how we intend on pursuing this. And that's the only thing we can afford at this point. So,
and building off of that, Johnson has a perceived advantage of being in City Hall right now.
Yeah.
How do you attempt to get past that, knowing that he's the acting mayor, hoping to remove that acting part of the title?
Well, I will say this. Most of my political career, I've bucked up against the political machine down at City Hall. Whether the head of that machine is Barrett or a guy by the name of Johnson, it's the same political machine that I've been fighting for a long time. And the big money, the special interest money that's behind him, that's the biggest difference. It's not whether he's an acting mayor or alderman or former alderman. It's the money. The big money, $500,000, 10 times what I've got. So that's a challenge. But by God, I think we have a message that will resonate with the citizens of Milwaukee. And in the final analysis, they'll come out and vote for change and moving Milwaukee in a better direction.
Are you trying to consolidate conservative votes, or are you going to try to pick off any of those progressives that may have voted for others?
Oh, absolutely. We've got to appeal to everyone, but we've got a solid message. I believe in what I believe. What I believe in is safer streets, better schools, good jobs. If our mayor was able to concentrate and deliver on those 3 things, what a wonderful city we would have, okay? Instead of taking care of special interests, instead of going in different directions, concentrate on those 3 things. And if given the opportunity, that's what I intend on concentrating on.
You talk about wanting change in the mayor's office. You were a long time consistently there in Common Council. So how are you a candidate for change if you've been there and you had an opportunity?
Well, of course, I spoke out, but when you're one of 15, you just don't have the power and influence that the mayor has. There's no comparison to compare the authority of the mayor and what he or she is capable of getting done in this city to just one of the 15 aldermen. Absolutely no comparison. So I'm running for mayor to get that job done and move Milwaukee in the right direction.
You know, it sounds like we're close to having a debate schedule set. I don't know if there's an update there, but what are you most eager to sink your teeth into once it's face-to-face with acting Mayor Cavalier Johnson?
Well, I think whoever the next mayor of Milwaukee is, he's going to have to deal with two immediate challenges. Our public safety crisis in Milwaukee, which is horrendous, and I might add unprecedented. And then our fiscal challenges, not only our pension, but just how we pay for local government. And so those are the two challenges, and I'm certain that that will be the gist of any debate on how we address that and how we approach governing. Also, I would argue education, our schools, and the fact that I believe that it's best to give parents as much of a choice in the education of their children as possible. So I think that'll be an issue too that will come up significantly.
And how does your strategy change from a primary to a general?
Oh God, I'm not a campaign manager. I go and do what I'm told, so you'd have to check with them, I guess. But we're going to continue to do the same things. I'm a people person. I like getting out in the public. I like meeting people. And certainly we are hoping to raise more funds to be able to pay for the television and radio ads. I mean, those are huge expenses. But I enjoy retail politics and talking to people and stopping in businesses and taking care of people's concerns and issues. I enjoy that, so that's my forte.
Visit Milwaukee announced today that the RNC is looking to come here for a site visit as far as considering Milwaukee for a convention. Just get your thoughts on that.
Well, I think that'd be great for Milwaukee. I was so happy when the Democratic Party had chosen Milwaukee for the convention, and then of course that all sort of went south, obviously, with COVID. So that was a big disappointment, I know, for a lot of businesses in Milwaukee. So I'm hopeful that we can bring the Republican National Convention here. I think that would be a huge boom for Milwaukee. Yeah.
Bob, you've mentioned the money that Cavalier Johnson has in his campaign, but I think you might have danced around it a little bit. What specifically do you bring to the table that Cavalier Johnson doesn't have?
Oh, I think just my years of experience on the council. I know what works and what doesn't work at City Hall. And also, I believe I have a very, very strong record as an alderman of getting things done. One of the best compliments I ever received came from Ernesto Valerio, the owner of El Rey Groceries, when he said, if you want something done, call Bob Donovan. And I thought, wonderful. And so I also reached out and worked with the private sector, the faith community, the business community, in developing programs and initiatives to address challenges in the district. So I think my record as an alderman, I will stake my record up against any one of my colleagues, certainly including Alderman Johnson, and be very proud to defend it.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you. Thanks
yeah.
for your time. Thank you
Okay,
for sticking
guys.
around.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hey, Bob.